Hello, I'm John Green, and this is Crash Course World History. Today we're going to be discussing Christianity.
Christianity started off as a Jewish sect in the Levant, or the Eastern Mediterranean. To give you a better picture of where that is, Levant consists of modern-day Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Israel, Palestinian territories, Cyprus, and Turkey. No, not that Turkey. Yeah, that Turkey. And here's a map of the area. As for the creation of Christianity, Jesus was essential to this feat. Although he never explicitly tried to make an entirely new religion, his claim to being the Son of God was rejected by the Jews and his teachings were viewed as heretic. After Jesus' resurrection, he told the 12 apostles to spread his teachings, and that's when Christianity really started to split from Judaism. Christianity is a monotheistic religion. That is, followers of this faith believe in one omnipotent God. This one God is actually made up of three people: the Father, the Son or Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. This is the idea of the Trinity. Here you see a handsome middle-aged man, Jesus, and Casper as the Holy Spirit. Together they make God. God created angels and demons to influence individuals. Angels are good and usually bear the messages of God to people in dreams, while demons are bad and try to get people to do evil things. Also central to the Christian ideology is the belief in the death, descent into hell, resurrection, and ascension into heaven of Jesus. According to the New Testament, Jesus was crucified by the Jews, although later historians proved that the Jews only pushed for his crucifixion. The Romans were the ones who actually performed the deed. His soul then descended into hell, and 3 days later he came back from the dead. In 40 days, Jesus' body physically ascended into heaven. He was believed to be human and divine. As a human, he lived to serve God, but as a divine power, he was actually an incarnation of God himself. Christians also believe that human existence does not just end after death, but that there is an afterlife. The life that an individual has led determines whether that individual will face damnation or salvation. In other words, damnation is when people go to hell and suffer for eternity, and salvation is when people go to heaven and live peacefully by God's side.
Understanding Christianity is nearly impossible without understanding Judaism. Christianity and Judaism can be described as, well, a relationship that just went wrong. Before Christianity became its own separate religion, it was actually considered at first to be a new sect of Judaism. So, both religions have a lot of similarities. Jesus, whom the Christians believe to be the Messiah, was actually born Jewish. Moses and Abraham are key figures in both religions, and both Judaism and Christianity vehemently follow the Ten Commandments. Both religions originated in Palestine, although Judaism predated Christianity by about 1,330 years. While Christian beliefs stem heavily from the Old and New Testaments, Jewish beliefs are rooted in the Torah and Tanakh, which is referred to as the Jewish Bible. Stories such as Adam and Eve and Noah's Ark in the book of Genesis are shared between both religions. Despite the many similarities between the two religions, such as their beliefs in many of the same religious figures, there are also many differences that cause the Christians to declare themselves independent of the Jewish religion. Christians believe in the resurrection of Jesus Christ, who they claim is the Son of God, and that he was the Messiah. The Jewish people, however, believe that Jesus was an ordinary man and the Messiah has yet to come. I guess Jew could say that the two religions were not able to sustain a candid relationship with each other, eh? No? Yes? Anything? Okay.
So basically, a poor, uneducated Jew in an era with no iPhones, tablets, or internet inspired loyal followers who eventually went all over the world spreading the gospel. Over the years, these loyal followers had to endure brutality, criticism, and even death because many people thought that they were just instigators, and the heads of some religions thought of them as a threat. As means of transportation improved, Christianity spread from Jerusalem up through Europe with the recently converted troops of the Roman Empire. It spread through the Caribbean, South America, and Central America with Columbus and the Conquistadores. It came into the United States with the influx of immigrants from England. The Crusades were fought to suppress the Muslim religion for hundreds of years in an attempt to spread Christianity into Africa and what is now the Middle East, including
the Mongols.
You are not the exception this time. In present day, there are approximately 2.2 billion people who embrace Christianity in a world populated by 7 billion people. That is about 1/3 of the entire human race that prescribes to this religion. This religion disseminated by word of mouth, and it quickly spread by people talking about it through missionaries. Also, another interesting fact, when Roman Emperor Constantine the Great ruled Rome, Christianity became the dominant religion of the Roman Empire. Interestingly enough, China has one of the largest populations of Christians, coming in at approximately 67 million people. However, that only amounts to about 5% of the Chinese population. That's more than Ethiopia, coming in at approximately 55 million Christians, which amounts to 64.5% of the Ethiopian population. According to the CIA World Factbook, there is a statistically significant number of Christians in 221 out of 239 nations and territories in the world. The remaining 18 probably have some, but they're too few to count. Now, the number of people prescribing to the Christian faith is increasing daily. However, the percentage of Christians in relation to other world religions is decreasing due to the increase of Islam and other world religions.
It's time for the open letter.
The 10 Commandments were given to Moses by God at the mountain with the burning bush. They play a central role in the Old Testament. The 10 Commandments were significant because they established the structure and moral code for Christianity. They established order in a time of chaos. I am the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Honor thy father and thy mother. Thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Thou shalt not covet.
And now for the thought bubble.
History views Jesus Christ as a religious figure who existed in a time of persecution and unrest. Christianity views Jesus as the Messiah and Son of God and the Virgin Mary. But by today's standards, Jesus Christ would be viewed as a terrorist. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines terrorism as the systematic use of violence to create a general climate of fear in a population and thereby to bring about a particular political objective. So a terrorist would be someone who performs this feat. Jesus was born in Bethlehem, from Nazareth in Galilee. He was a Galilean Jew believed to be the Messiah as prophesied in the Old Testament. First century Galilee was a hotbed of political unrest, and the peasant Galileans hated their Roman oppressors. Historical documents other than the Bible have proven that Jesus Christ did in fact exist and fought against the Romans for the good of his people. He had come to save his people during a time of armed conflict. He was executed and then looked at by his people as a martyr for his cause. That sounds like the run-of-the-mill terrorist. Before the birth of Jesus, and even throughout his life, Jews, particularly poor Palestinian Jews, were oppressed and degraded by the Romans. The Romans killed the Jews or sold them into slavery. Jesus was a Palestinian Jew, so wouldn't it be surprising if he was angry with the Romans or Greco-Roman Jews who conformed to the Roman culture? The Romans' brutal army forced heavy taxation, landlessness, unemployment, and religious discrimination upon the Jews. So, a young Jew like Jesus would be expected to be a little more than annoyed. He took on an empirical power in the name of God, using threats to get his way. The biggest evidence to cite in support of Jesus' act of terrorism is the Holy Bible itself. In the Gospel of Mark, Jesus marched into a temple in Jerusalem which was being used for trade under the influence of the Romans who thought it beneath them to touch money, and overturned furniture, stole the money, and forced the people out. He drove out moneylenders and destroyed their property. The trade taking place in a temple was like the straw that broke the camel's back, so Jesus revolted against the peace forced onto his people by the Roman Empire and declared a day of rest. Considered a crime of treason against the Roman Empire, Jesus was arrested and executed. Terrorism is a controversial term, and classification depends on which side of the violence you are on. The Romans and certain Jews who feared Jesus for upsetting the norm would have definitely viewed Jesus as a terrorist, someone who stirred up unnecessary trouble through violence. The oppressed Jews, on the other hand, would have considered Jesus as a freedom fighter or a revolutionary, someone who saw injustice and did something about it.